Hi, I'm Luis Valdez. Now I will be talking about my history in the Kirk Roberts company. This is, well, here in Kirk Roberts. I come through the student of the university. In those years, I have just started to be a professor at the Central University of the East, and at that time, some of the students, in that case, I remember Bolivar Peña, engineer Angel Alcántara, and another engineer is Demetrio Santana. I remember where the engineer Maggie was also there. David Zabaleta, he has made a team of beginner students, engineers. He has a lot of hope in the it without previous experience. The boy found me very pleased that I was telling him in practice what I was teaching then in the college. The student know to me since I was the production of the area on the Borinqueña manufacturing. Well, I ain't reached David Zabaleta thanks to reference of Antonio Centeno himself, who was the general manager of the manufacturing Borinqueña. On the several occasions made very good comments in the association of the companies of the free zone of San Pedro de Macorís. He said he has guaranteed a new engineer and he was giving wonderful results. These engineers, son of the Luis Valdez, of owner of the supermarket Luz, that he is doing a good job. And David Zabaleta, he found out about it and became interested in me and invited me to come to his office because there were so many opportunities to work within that company. David Zabaleta has used here the position of the managers, general managers at that time. Well, I had an interview and I agree. He offered me double my salary, and one of the advantage that he was going to have here in that who was going to direct me was an industrial engineer. David Zabaleta, with a lot of experiences, said he was about 65 years old at that moment, and that was my opportunity for me to complete my professional success. I always like to work with people with more capacities than me. That was my opportunity, I said. Yes, I was going to go. There was, in fact, a certain conflict between the two companies, Borinqueña Manufacturing Company and Kirk Roberts Incorporated Company. Because Centeno said that Engineer Zabaleta has violated the code of the ethics of the association company of the San Pedro de Macorís, but he's happy. I started working for Kirk Roberts when I got the first job it was. He placed me in the area of the contractor managers, which I was going to verify the quality of the products, check the schedule for contractors, everything for contractors. I was going to be the responsible for the works production from the contractor. But 8 weeks later, contractors were it going down. I know that the contractors, I thought that the possibility of the doing much more than the work for the contractor. I was going to have a lot of the idle time and that I could do something more. Immediately, I was motivated. I say, well, but here are about 4 engineers and they are working directly for the general manager. It is possible that I can help him with this guy, and they were that motivated to team up with me. And in fact, I have the initiative to make an office in a space that was being used as a warehouse of the machine part. We took out the machines. I put the desk. I put the sign outside the office. Saying engineer department to serve Kirk Roberts. That moment, David Zabaleta asked me what else could I do because the contractor was going to have a leave. On that occasion, I told him, well, I already have my engineer department. The guys you can give me them to me. And immediately he made a meeting with them and he gave me them to me. And that was a success. We started working with time studied potentials, balancing the line, making the plant manager suggestions of the possibility of increasing of the production throughout the balancing of the occasion. There were many of balancing, very many accumulations. Engineer being become the department of the moment. Control of the balancing of the lines when we saw that they were introducing more orders than the correct one, and that they did not balance the operations. Then we have the power to paralyze the food to avoid more cumulus. That way, they were balancing the line, and we were ensuring that the workflow was done and that the operator changes in the time before the cluster was too problematic, and part of the cluster was also. Quality problem that occurred because I remember that one of the occasions, Fellito Luna was the manager of the plant number 1, and Felipe Alemán was the manager of the plant number 2. For example, the one supervisor, Juliana, I remember, accumulated 5 and 3 orders, sometimes 3 or 4, 5 orders, and they processes it from the first operations and accumulates it in pilots it up. And then it exploits the problem of the poor quality, and when the operators have already been already late. And it's one of the risks of the engineer David Zabaleta. He always cared about it, and that is why it was the reason that we thought that we could be in control of what is called the feeding of the line. That was one of the first stricter controls we put in place, and then we also worked on doing studies of potentials to balance the line, and those the balances were given to them. It happens, production manager Freddy was one of the production manager of the plant number 1. Also, Aide Castillo, engineer, was the production in plant number 2. They delivered the balance sheet of the sure us to make them potentials. And working in the bottleneck or in the position where they most need the increase in the production to balance the line. They have quite a few results as well. We arrived at the factory that there was no motivation in the operators. And thanks to the plan I made, which one was the program of the trophy. That was the way moving it from one line to other line, and with that the result were that wonderful. In a few days, there was the motivation for loudspeakers to do that the narration, to do, for example, as the competition. And I always narrate, then I remember what we said. For example, line number 5, sweet tables in charges of the Julia Castillo occupies the first place on the cup. I will be transferred to that line in this time. Congratulations to line number 1. Outstanding operator was Josefa Martinez, also Mary Lam, who will receive the cup today. The cup is in line number 1. Our congratulations to line number 1. The cup have just been taken away from line number 8. Thanks to the work of Josefa, who increased the production, her production from 456 units to 680 units. Also Mariela from the 595 units by day to the 745 units day. Congratulations. In that way, the result of the people were demotivated. That was at 9 a.m. in the morning, one passes through the cinema every 2 hours of the numbers. And in that way, also, the people were motivated to take it then record efficiency. And they fought for the scores because everyone want to be the recipient of the cup. And they even told their relatives. They were the wonderful moments we see with the cup. And the transfer of the cup and the movement to the cup at the end of the year delivers the cup of the years, which was the line has accumulated the most points during the years throughout the years. And that was the end of the year's party, and it was of the late where the department session that managed the accumulated 2 and 3 cups throughout the 5 years, 1 cup per year. And thus is the 2 hours for salary increase the supervisors and assistants. They also added the special bonus to the traders who they have achieved the success. They produced Kirk Roberts Inc. on that occasion. Well, the one of the products that was the produced and the most in Kirk Roberts was gloves. The woman and where also they made the gloves for children. That was one of the most of the sold products for Sears and other lines of the chain stores of the United States, who many factories were there. About 2 factories is answering your question about how many factories was being in Dominican Republic for Kirk Roberts. It contained total more or less than 480 operators, and plant number 2, which they have about the 220 operators. About the reports, in the short time, I remember that already more or less 2 or 3 months and found we got very involved in the cost analysis. I have always liked the cost analysis. And David Zabaleta, a report to the corporations, and that report already at 4 months, more or less. I was already doing it on the typewriter. At that moment, at that time, there were no computers, and I would visit him to towards calculation, and he was the quite extensive analytical. The report included the cost analysis, break-even point, efficiency pro-efficiency was of the pretty clear analysis. I remember on that occasion I can show him, for example, my check I received in that occasion, which I was paid around. You can see in the video. And this company, I also have the opportunity shortly after also to play the role after 2.5 years of engineer manager. To be managers of the quality controls about 2 years. That lasts about almost a month. Then I have the opportunity to become the even of the second floor, and for the occasion, then I'm past there. Yes, this is Demetrio Santana, industrial engineer, making time study. In that time, I remember using MTM number 2, not GSD. In that time study on MTM 1 and 2. I remember we practice the system of the study. You can see the operators saw the blouses for women. This is a beautiful product. This is about the 1990. Kirk Roberts Inc. at the Free Zone of Dominican Republic at the San Pedro de Macorís. This is a big park, industrial park, has a lot of factory there. They closed about 10 years ago. I don't have exactly. Somebody talk about the history of the Kirk Roberts. This is an overlock machine with safe. This material is really important. This very good setting, and they are using shearing in the shoulders. You can see the operator promonta. The operator is taking the back side and put it on the table, and also next time putting the front, two side, and the posse and the right side of the body. Also, I remember in that time we started using the automatic machine. We are talking about the 1991. How many years? A lot of years. This operator, the name is Protect. This guy is, this is me. Also in this company, we include the curing department. This time handles with the machine. We was being about two current table. Thank This is a fusion machine. It's a very good machine. Use the lining on the collar. We are normally using one or two operators, one in the front and one on the back side, but sometimes you use a boss in the front, in the back side for collecting the collar. For Kirk Roberts, I remember be the opportunity for three positions. For example, first time is engineering managers for two factory. After that, the quality manager for two factory, and finish as the plant manager for plant number one. It's about from the May 21st, 1989 to Thank you very much. I am Luis Valdez, industrial engineer. This is my history working in the beautiful products. Kirk Roberts at Dominican Republic, Reasons Park. See you later. Thank you very much.